Well, good morning. Welcome to the Living Well series. My name is Trey Colvin, and I'm with the Plano Public Library. And before we get started, we're going to wait a few more minutes just to allow time for people to join. There's a few have joined us, and I think we've lost one or two, so we'll let them join back. But we're going to go over some housekeeping reminders. We just want to note that this program is being recorded, and it'll be made available at the Plano Public Library's YouTube page later for viewing. Soliciting business or selling merchandise during library virtual programs is prohibited. So please show respect to our presenter and one another throughout the program. And participants' microphones and videos options are turned off. So if you have any questions or comments, please type them, make use of the chat section. We'll have that monitored throughout the session, and we can assist with if you have any tech issues, you can also drop those in the chat, and we'll try to help with that. And we'll bring the questions to presenters' attention. And we'll be sure to leave some time at the end for questions. Of course, and my mouse doesn't want to work because I clicked off the wrong frame. Technical issues. So once again, thank you for joining us this morning. Keeping your mind and body active and engaged is very important. The Plano Public Library is pleased to partner with several organizations with resources to assist you. Along with opportunities to learn something new at the library, these Living Well programs will connect you with information, programs, and services to assist you in getting the most out of life. Our presenter today is Courtney Ranger from the Alzheimer's Association, and Courtney will be sharing information about learning steps to take now to improve or maintain overall health in these critical areas, such as your cognitive activity, physical health and exercise, diet and nutrition, and social engagement. So thank you for joining us and being our presenter today, Courtney, and I'm going to turn it over to Courtney.
Awesome. Thanks so much. As Trey mentioned, my name is Courtney Ranger, and I'm the Director of Programs and Services at your local chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. I'm really thrilled to be with you all here today to talk about some science-based recommendations to take care of your brain and bodies. Throughout the program, I encourage you to think about your own health and lifestyle and how you might make changes to live healthier. I do want to make an important note. This program is intended for anyone who is looking for ways to live well. If you have concerns about or living with dementia, there are several other association programs available, which we would love to offer you. You can find these on our website at alz.org or by contacting your local chapter. That would be my team and I, and we'll be really happy to connect you. The best way to reach us is through our 1-800 helpline, which is your resource for all things Alzheimer's and dementia and the Alzheimer's Association. That number is available at 1-800-272-3900. Again, that number is available 24/7. It's here to help you with questions like how do you access more education, like our program today, as well as questions that you may have about the disease, assistance with perhaps identifying other resources that you may need to help, whether it's in a diagnosis or caregiving or anywhere you may be along your journey with Alzheimer's and dementia. But today we are talking about ways to live healthier. So we'll have a couple of different topics. We'll be identifying some key areas that you can address in your health. Those include smoking, mental health, physical health, balanced nutrition, cognitive engagement, and social engagement. Excuse me, get these slides going. So before we get too far, let's talk a little bit about the brain. Your brain is the control center for your entire body. It manages everything including your thoughts and your movement. There are about 100 billion nerve cells, that's billion with a B, which are called neurons in the brain. They build out structures that kind of look like branches of a tree and create a network of pathways that send different signals that form your memories, thoughts, and feelings. Unfortunately, there are many different diseases that can affect the brain. For example, Alzheimer's disease progressively destroys brain cells as it moves throughout the brain and can affect more functions as the disease progresses. So we know that the heart and the brain are connected, and you all will very quickly learn one of my favorite taglines of all time: what's good for the heart is good for the brain. So science is able to tell us why this is true and what we can do to maximize our health. Much of this heart-brain connection is due to the fact that the brain is nourished by the body's richest network of blood vessels. The oxygen and other elements that are delivered to the brain through the bloodstream keep the brain nourished. Every time your heart beats, 20 to 25% of the blood being moved actually goes straight to your brain. And this is why keeping the heart in good working order helps us keep the brain fueled to do all of its work. So a little pop quiz. Ooh. Well, the answer came up. I'm so sorry, y'all. But as a show of hands, Alzheimer's is not a normal part of aging. It's a progressive and fatal disease, and symptoms will usually start slowly and get worse over time. The greatest known risk factor for Alzheimer's disease is increasing age, and this disease is not a normal part of aging. Many individuals with the disease are age 65 or older, and then after age 65, your risk doubles every 5 years. So much that after age 85, your risk of Alzheimer's and dementia is about 1 in 3. If you do have concerns about whether or not something would be a warning sign or if it's normal aging, I strongly encourage you to check out our website or call that helpline. Again, we actually have a presentation dedicated to the 10 warning signs to help you differentiate between normal aging and perhaps something that may raise concern. So as I mentioned, as you get older, it's common to experience some age-related changes to memory or thinking. It's totally normal to forget where you left something, but find it later, or sometimes having trouble finding the right word. And I know that happens to me at least once a day. Those things are all part of normal aging and would be called cognitive decline. Dementia is a general term used to describe problems with thinking and memory that are severe enough to interfere with a person's daily life. And this is where the problems come in. Dementia is not a normal part of aging. It's caused by damage to the brain cells that affects the cell's ability to communicate, which can affect thinking, behavior, and feelings. So Alzheimer's disease is actually the most common cause of dementia. You can think of dementia like a general term, kind of like heart disease. It covers a bunch of different symptoms and specific diseases. So worldwide, there are an estimated 55 million people living with Alzheimer's and other dementias. While there's currently no cure for Alzheimer's, there are drug and non-drug options that can help with symptoms and may have the ability to help slow progression. So it's really critical, if you are concerned about your memory or the memory of a loved one, please reach out to your healthcare provider for additional discussion and testing. And while there are no currently proven methods to entirely prevent cognitive decline or dementia, research has shown us that there are several strategies that we can use to reduce our risk of developing it and maintain or even improve overall health, which is what we're here to talk about today. So let's quickly discuss. I am so sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble with my slides. So let's discuss the factors that impact our overall health and well-being. There are a bunch of different factors that all play into our health. Some of them include genes and family history, environment, and lifestyle. So as we age, it's common for us to experience some similar changes. Most of us get gray hair or wrinkles or need glasses for reading. But as individuals, we may experience getting older in different ways, which is due in part to our genes. Genes are something that are beyond our control and influence some of the ways that we are. For example, some families' genes will allow them to live well into their 90s or even longer, while other families' genes may lead to diseases earlier in life and potentially shorten their lifespan. In addition, the environments in which we live, work, and play can have significant effects on our health, and many of these are difficult to change and beyond our control. But we do have control over other factors that involve our health. Making improvements in these areas can positively impact your health, even for individuals with a family history of certain conditions, including dementia or heart disease. So, your blood pressure, blood sugar, weight, and cholesterol levels are all key parts of the story of your overall health, including the health of your brain. It's really important to understand these numbers and keep an eye on them, especially if you notice changes. It's really important to discuss this with your healthcare provider. So growing research has suggests that many different factors increase the risk of heart disease and stroke. And a lot of those may also increase the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. There's strong evidence of a connection between midlife high blood pressure or hypertension and later life dementia. This evidence also shows that controlling blood pressure can have a significant effect on your risk for cognitive decline and possibly dementia. Keeping diabetes controlled is also important. Studies have shown an increased risk of cognitive decline and possibly dementia among individuals living with diabetes, although diabetes at this point has not been proven to cause Alzheimer's disease. So again, it has not been proven to cause Alzheimer's disease, but we have seen some studies where there is an increased risk of that cognitive decline and potentially dementia if among people who do have diabetes. So maintaining a healthy weight is another important factor. Researchers have found that midlife obesity may be associated with an increased risk of dementia as well. We all know that a good cholesterol level is good for your heart. And my favorite tagline, y'all, what's good for your heart is good for your brain. The best way to combat these health concerns is to know your numbers and keep an eye on them, especially if they change. Talk with your doctor or another healthcare professional to understand what your numbers should be and what they all mean for your overall health. Many of the strategies that we'll talk about today have the potential to support you in working to maintain optimal numbers. So, another pop quiz. True or false? It's never too early or too late to incorporate healthy habits. If folks can chime in on the chat with who thinks it's true. And Trey, I'm not seeing the chat, so if you could help me out and let me know where our audience is leaning.
Yeah, no questions or comments so far.
Okay. So it is true. It's never too early or too late to incorporate healthy habits. So let's talk a little bit more about what these habits are. So again, we'll be discussing a couple of different aspects of healthy living. That includes getting quality sleep, being smoke-free, taking care of your mental health, getting moving, eating healthy, challenging yourself, and staying connected. We'll look at what the science tells us about changes that we can make in each of these areas to help our bodies and our brains. Again, as we touch on each area, think about how you can apply it to your own life and consider how you can do what you enjoy, make gradual changes that are relevant for you and how you live, and changes that you can start now, regardless of your age. So first up, let's talk about sleep. Quality sleep is essential for your overall health and well-being. Sleep doesn't just allow us to rest and recharge. It also affects our ability to maintain healthy blood pressure and even control diabetes. Inadequate sleep due to conditions like insomnia or sleep apnea can cause problems with memory and thinking. Sleep apnea, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a condition in which breathing stops and restarts many times while you're sleeping. If you suspect that you may have sleep apnea, it is really important, not only for your brain health, but for your overall health, to discuss your concerns with your doctor. So adults should aim for no less than 6 hours of rest a night, which I know for me can be a challenge. I'm sure I'm not the only one. And there may be some interruptions from others in your home or noise or other factors that can make this difficult. It's important to try to improve the quality of sleep when possible. So think about your own sleep habits. Are you getting at least 6 hours? And more importantly, are you getting quality sleep? Think about the types of environments that help you sleep and changes that you might make to create a more peaceful sleep setting, and changes that you can make to minimize disruptions. So, keeping these suggestions in mind, we're going to talk through a couple of tips to help you get and improve your quality sleep. So, first, let's start by thinking about the environment. You want to think about, do you sleep better when you're cooler or warmer, which I know sometimes in Texas can be really tough. Those ACs are working hard. But also, do you need silence, or do you like a little bit of light noise in the background? Do you prefer a little bit of light or complete darkness? Next, think about the small changes that you might make. You may want to consider adding some blankets or taking some away. You may want to think about a fan for white noise or temperature control. A nightlight, if you like that little bit of light, or blackout curtains can make a huge difference if you're someone who needs complete darkness to sleep well. Noise canceling headphones or a sound machine are also great tools to use. Minimizing disruptions can be really difficult for many of us. But think about if you can sleep in a separate space from pets, children, other family members. Thinking about if it's possible to change others' routines to help yourself. So, for example, setting different bedtimes or turning off the TV noise at a certain time every night. Experts also recommend turning off your screens before bedtime to help you wind down for sleep. So if you're using your phone for music or an alarm clock, put it out of reach so you aren't tempted to pick it up and look at it. I want to note again, if you frequently experience sleep problems or have sleep apnea, it is important that you're having a discussion with a healthcare professional. So next up, we are going to talk about the importance of being smoke-free. Smoking has a direct impact on the health of your brain. So studies have found that smoking actually increases the risk of cognitive decline and may increase the risk of dementia. The benefits of quitting smoking include a lower risk of heart attack, stroke, and lung disease, as well as better blood circulation and avoiding exposing others to secondhand smoke. And this next point is one of the ones that I get most excited about when I'm talking with folks. If you quit smoking, you may actually reduce your chance of developing cognitive decline back down to the level of non-smokers. So it really is one of those habits that if you are currently engaging in it, making that change can have a massive impact on your overall health. So if you currently smoke, think about what you might be able to do to help you stop. And if you don't smoke, what's helped you stay smoke-free? You may also want to look into any resources that are available online or in your community. And then we'll also talk about a couple of quick tips now to help remain smoke-free or quit smoking. So quitting smoking is really hard. You can find support through quit lines, and you can also talk with your doctor or another healthcare professional for other tools and strategies that may be right for you. It's really important that you look for a smoking cessation program or strategy that works for you. Something that may have worked for someone else may not be the best fit for you. So it's really important as you're looking for something to be willing to try different things if the first strategy that you try doesn't work. So next up, we're going to move on to mental health. It's really important to take care of your mental health, prioritize yourself, and make time for self-care. So you may have a lot on your plate. Maybe you're caring for others, you're juggling a heavy workload, or you're just dealing with life's unexpected surprises. It's important that you pay attention to your stress level and any symptoms of anxiety, depression, or other mental health concerns, because these can all impact the health of your brain. Talk with your doctor about how you're feeling, both physically and mentally. Some of the healthy habits that we're talking about today are really also great examples of self-care. For example, studies have shown that regular physical activity decreases stress, increases your ability to manage stress, and leads to overall improved mood. Sleep also contributes to mental health. So taking time for yourself is important, especially if you're someone who's caring for others. Even if you're busy with a very full schedule, it helps to take a few moments to give yourself a break, even if it's just 5 minutes. It can really help to boost your mood and lower your stress level. I also like to remind people that self-care is not selfish. And also think about some things that you like doing and how you can build breaks into your day. So here are a couple of ideas for self-care that folks might enjoy. That might be taking a nap. It might be sipping on tea or another favorite beverage. That might look like going for a walk, which is one of my favorite things to do, or playing a game, completing a puzzle, reading, dancing, singing, making art, cooking or baking, and even just listening to a funny podcast or watching a comedy to make you laugh can all be great ways to take a few minutes for self-care. So we just mentioned walking. So let's move on to physical activity and the importance of getting moving. There has been loads of research on how physical activity affects our brains and helps to keep them as healthy as possible. So many studies have found that consistent physical activity is associated with a lower risk of cognitive decline. Some researchers have even said that if people have to choose one thing to do to improve their brain functioning, it should be physical activity. Evidence shows that physical activity may directly benefit brain cells by increasing blood and oxygen flow. It may also reduce other dementia risk factors like high blood pressure or diabetes. Many researchers believe that exercise should be regular and on the more vigorous side, things that really get the heart pumping and the blood flowing. Other studies have shown that there are benefits from milder activities like walking or strength training. Unfortunately, we don't yet have a single recipe, if you will, for what might work best. But what's important to remember is that for most people, any increase in movement is a positive change that can have a huge impact on your overall health. So I know that we just talked about self-care and finding time for yourself, and it can feel really hard or overwhelming to think about adding more movement into a day that's already really full. But little changes add up. Research shows that even 20 to 30 minutes of walking a few times a week can have health benefits. The most important thing is to be as active as you can and to do activities that you enjoy so you continue to do them. So if you hate running, you do not have to run a marathon in order to get healthier. Think about activities that you might want to try and how you could build more physical activity into your day. And one tip that I really love is think about if there's someone that you can ask to join you to help keep you accountable and also sometimes just make it a little bit more fun. So a few more tips. If this is something new to you, make sure that you're starting really small and looking for things that might already be part of your day. Walk around your neighborhood, take the stairs more often, or park a little bit farther away in that parking lot. Also think about activities that you like to do or maybe want to try, and try to get moving quickly to get your heart rate up and break a sweat. Activities like tennis or pickleball or dancing are all really great options. And again, ask your friends to join you. You can make it social, which is another benefit for your brain, and also get support for starting something new or even making it a routine. It is really important to always check with your doctor or another healthcare professional to make sure that any new activities that you're starting will be safe for you. Next up, we're going to talk about balanced nutrition. Eating an overall healthy diet can help reduce your risk of many diseases. So as we've already discussed, what's good for your heart is also good for your brain. And the same is true when it comes to the foods that we eat. We know that healthy fuel for the body benefits brain functioning. Eating a balanced diet may also help reduce your risk of heart disease, cancer, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, stroke, and diabetes. But there are many differing opinions about what is the best way to eat to maximize health. Research on the relationship between nutrition and cognitive functioning is somewhat limited, but it does point to the benefits of balance. Two good examples of this are the DASH diet, which is known as the dietary approaches to stop hypertension, and the Mediterranean diet. So the DASH diet is a flexible and balanced eating plan. Studies have shown that this diet lowers overall high blood pressure and improves blood lipids, or those are the fats in your bloodstream. This may help reduce your risk of developing cardiovascular disease. Because the DASH diet is a healthy way of eating, it may also lower your risk of things like osteoporosis, cancer, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Similarly, the Mediterranean diet incorporates the basics of healthy eating, along with the traditional cooking styles of the countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea. A research study of more than 1.5 million healthy adults demonstrated that following a Mediterranean diet could reduce the risk of death from heart disease and cancer. It may also reduce the risk of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's diseases. But these are just a few examples. There are others, but what's most important is to find a balanced diet and options in the food that you eat and allow you to include those foods that are important to your culture and your family. The diets that have been shown to be most effective have certain things in common. Here you can see the same key elements from both of the diets that I just mentioned. You might be pretty familiar with some of these, so take a moment and start thinking about how they fit into the meals that you eat regularly or that are important to you and your family. Those key elements include incorporating more fruits and vegetables into your daily diet. Some studies indicate that certain fruits, like berries, may be particularly helpful, and eating leafy green vegetables have been shown to have health benefits. Eating nuts, beans, and whole grains is another big part of them, as well as eating lean meats, fish, and poultry. Also, choosing foods that contain polyunsaturated or monounsaturated fats, which are found in nuts and plant-based oils like avocado or olive oil and fish. Aiming for a diet in low saturated fats, and staying away from processed foods, deep fried foods, and large amounts of sugar and salt. And I know that can be really tough, but again, it's important to consider that balance in your life. I do want to say that it is never too late to adopt a heart-healthy diet. Studies have shown that making these changes, even in later life, can benefit your brain health. So, making changes to what we eat regularly can be really hard. We'll discuss a couple of suggestions on how to make some healthier eating changes, but you'll want to think about things that you could maybe cook a little bit differently or make your meals healthier. I like to think about healthy foods that I can swap in versus less healthy foods that I would need to take away. And also think about new foods that you would be willing to try. So some tips. Using olive oil instead of butter and preparing your food can be a really easy swap. Using sodium-free spices and flavorings instead of salt. It is really important if you're using different flavorings and any of the seasonings that you use, check that label to see if there's added salt. You'll be really surprised to find salt in a lot of the common seasonings that you'll find at the grocery store. Make sure that you're not adding extra salt when you're making rice, pasta, or things like oatmeal. Read those food labels and choose low sodium or no salt added options. And again, focus on what you can add in versus what you're taking away. So focus on adding in a fruit as a snack or adding some extra veggies into your pasta. Choosing plain, fresh, frozen, or canned vegetables is another important strategy. And I also really like to build meals around vegetables, beans, and whole grains versus building them around a starch. Always choose fresh and frozen skinless poultry, fish, and the leaner cuts of meat. Try to eat fish a couple of days a week. And I really like to have, especially this time of year, fresh fruit for dessert. So one quick note about supplements. There are lots and lots and lots of vitamins and supplements available in the market today, but it's really important to proceed with caution. The World Health Organization says that vitamin supplements are not recommended to reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Like we just discussed, balanced nutrition will have the biggest advantage for promoting the health of your brain and body, not supplements. It's really important to understand and address how you can care for yourself and to talk with a healthcare professional. If you do have a nutritional deficiency, your healthcare professional can chat with you and counsel you on the right steps to take. It's important that if you're taking supplements, that you're only doing so under the supervision of a medical professional. That's because there can be different interactions with other medications that you may be taking. So it's always important to discuss this with your doctor or another healthcare professional. So I believe we have another pop quiz coming up. So true or false, challenging your brain can help lower your risk of cognitive decline. So again, I can't see that chat, but if folks are chiming in, raise your hand if you think it is true. I see a raised hand.
We got one true in the chat and two raised
Awesome.
hands.
Awesome. Well, you all are correct. Challenging your brain can help lower your risk of cognitive decline. It can actually have long and short-term benefits for your brain. Got ahead of myself there. So what is cognitive or mental engagement? This term means anything that really keeps your minds active. Anything that uses your mind in challenging ways is a cognitive activity and can possibly have benefits for your brain. This can look like learning new skills, working on a challenging task, or engaging in ongoing learning, like the classes that you're taking here. So scientists believe that as you use your mind in new and challenging ways, your brain actually starts building new connections between brain cells. And the more connections you have, the more nimble your brain is, and the better you may be able to guard against the effects of injuries or diseases that can compromise brain function. Cognitive engagement also encourages blood flow to the brain, and mentally stimulating activities may possibly maintain or even improve cognition. Formal education is also important. Research has shown that engaging in classroom-based learning led by professionally trained teachers will help keep your brain healthy and can protect you from developing dementia. Researchers believe that this may be due to education creating a more robust network of communication pathways between the neurons in your brain. So, how can we challenge ourselves? Think about new hobbies or skills that you'd like to learn, or if there are any activities that you think would sound like a fun challenge, and also other topics that you might like to learn more about. Focus on topics that are a challenge and interesting for you. What's challenging for one person may not be challenging for another. For example, my husband can build just about anything. I, however, cannot. So it would be a challenge for me to engage in building a piece of furniture, whereas he could probably do that in his sleep. But some more tips to stay challenged. One of the best ways is to stay challenged and keep your brain as resilient as possible is to engage in activities that require you to learn new things or solve problems. Some general ideas might look like taking a class either at a local college or community center or the library on a new topic or skill. It might mean learning a new cooking technique or learning a new language, building a piece of furniture, creating something artistic, learning to paint or play a new instrument, or even learning a strategy game like chess. While completing something like a jigsaw or crossword puzzle can be a really good way to manage stress, cognitive engagement is really about solving a problem that has you stumped and figuring out ways to approach a familiar task in a more effective way. You really want to think about things that require you to think a couple of steps ahead and make plans for adapting to changes as you go, like thinking about what an opponent may do next in a game like chess. So the final area that we'll talk about is my favorite, and that is social engagement or connecting with others in a social setting, which can actually have health benefits. So people who are regularly engaged with other people also tend to have reduced rates of mortality and disability. We know that people don't do well in isolation, and when people feel well connected to others, they tend to make healthier choices in other parts of their lives. So there are many different ways to connect with others and reap the benefits of social interaction. As always, do the activities that are meaningful to you. These will provide the greatest connection with those around you. Think about how you like to connect with others and where there might be new opportunities to do so, like getting involved in your community or joining a club or a group. So there are a number of ways that you can maintain strong connections. That might be volunteering for a cause that's important to you, scheduling regular phone calls or video chats. I have lots of friends that have scattered across the country over the years, and I have monthly video chats with one of my good friends. We both sit down with our coffee and we just catch up on one another's lives. And it's something that's been a really special way for us to stay connected, despite living on opposite coasts. But visiting with friends and family and becoming involved in your community are all other ways that you can stay connected. So let's recap some of the things that we've learned today. In general, my favorite tagline, y'all, what's good for your heart is also good for your brain. The important elements of healthy living for your brain and body include quality sleep, being smoke-free, taking care of your mental health, being physically active and eating healthy, and challenging yourself and staying socially connected. All of these things have potential benefits, and there's ongoing research into how engaging in multiple activities across these areas may actually have the greatest benefit for brain health. Whenever possible, think about how you can make changes that affect more than one area at the same time to maximize the health benefits of your habits. For example, take a walk with a friend. Taking a walk with a friend will combine physical activity with social engagement. As many of you have shared, there are small ways to make changes that will have a significant impact, helping you to live as well as possible. I've heard from lots of folks at sessions of, just the tiniest changes, like I took the long way on my walk-in to the library, for example, or I joined my personal favorite, I'm a needle pointer. I joined the local, needle pointing meetup once a week. And, I've had a chance to meet lots of different people that I wouldn't have known otherwise. So it's never too early or too late to think about building more healthy habits into your life. It's always important to start small and think about those changes that are easy for you to make and continue. But before we wrap up today's program, let's talk a little bit about the Alzheimer's Association and some of the additional resources that we offer. Here at the Alzheimer's Association, we lead the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing quality care and support. Our vision is a world without Alzheimer's and all other dementia. We have loads of resources for information and support, including that free 24/7 helpline that I mentioned before, which again is available at 1-800-272-3900. Again, that's available 24/7, anytime, day or night, and provides access to highly trained and knowledgeable staff who can help with education, decision-making support, crisis assistance, and resource identification, but it can also help with more straightforward tasks like, hey, how do I find an education program in my area? There are also tons and tons and tons of online resources available at alz.org, including education programs that cover a wide range of topics. You can also find your local chapter, us here at the Dallas and Northeast Texas chapter, and you can engage in more local presentations like this one if you prefer an in-person or live virtual setting. You can also find the Alzheimer's Association and AARP Community Resource Finder, which has a wealth of resources in your area and includes things like long-term care and community-based services. Another way to identify your local association office, and other additional programs. So that is our presentation for today. Trey, do we have any questions?
We do. We have a number of questions here.
Um,
So one's kind of a two-parter. Is there any info on neurofeedback therapy and dementia? And does neurofeedback help?
That's not something that we have tons of resources on right now. If you would like, Trey, I'm not sure if they can send you their contact info, but I'd be really happy to look into that for you and find more information.
Or do you all have an email address or something that we could just drop in if anybody had a follow-up question they could drop y'all's way?
Absolutely. You know what? It'll go straight to me. So you can send it to me at cranger@alz.org.
And the other question, is there any info on, forgive me, I'm not familiar with this, CogniView Clarity Exam report for brain health?
Yeah, so we'll generally recommend that you actually go through your recommended testing from a healthcare professional that looks really different for everyone. If you do have concerns about your overall brain health, it's important that you talk to your doctor or another healthcare professional that you've developed a relationship with. And they can really help you decide which testing and which options to assess your brain health are the best fit for you. One thing about brain health and some of the symptoms that you may experience with cognitive decline or potential cognitive decline can actually be caused by other things unrelated to your brain health. So it is really important that you're speaking with a physician or a healthcare professional to get a full workup, to get a better sense of if you are experiencing any symptoms, what the cause of those symptoms may be. Was there anything else?
Okay. Does anybody else have another question? Doesn't look like anything's pop in. We'll give them a chance to type, and I've got some more information. Hopefully y'all see the title slide. Yes. Oh, yeah, we do have a question. What is that email address again? Now,
Sure.
I mean, you can just, can you see the
Oh,
chat now where you can just
I
type that
can
into
now
the,
that I'm not
if you just make sure
sharing.
that goes to everyone, that should get to everyone.
There we go. It's in the chat now.
All right, thank you. Let's see if my mouse click would work. Nope, it will not.
Yeah.
Yay. So some other library resources that might be beneficial and certainly fun. We have Connecting Seniors and more programs and groups. So you might meet new friends, connect in a new way with those around you by joining Connecting Seniors or one of any number of library book clubs. Drop into the Connecting Seniors. It's an online in-person program. That is, it's online and in person. So you can make your choice. And that's for people to get together and share life experiences, stories, and memories, and just have fun. And some other upcoming programs that we have this summer, we have summer games. It's not just for athletes. You know, explore in 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, remembering legendary moments or sharing your own. And that's on July 11th. And then we have this or that, vacation or staycation, coffee or tea. Let's ponder and discuss these important questions and many others. That's on August the 1st. And if you just enjoy lively conversation, please attend one of the library's online book clubs. Whatever your reading preference, there's probably a book club to match it and people interested to hear your thoughts. check the library's Engage brochure or the library's blog, and that's planolibrarylearns.org. Again, that's planolibrarylearns.org for more information about book clubs. We also have Memory Keepers, and this is this program the Plano Public Library offers is for people living with early stages of dementia or Alzheimer's and their care partners. Memory Keepers is offered in partnership with Alzheimer's Association, and it's a monthly online conversational program for people and their care partners so they can explore and conserve memories together. The aim of the program is to give people living with dementia or Alzheimer's a comfortable space to express feelings, interact with others, remember the past, express their personality, and reduce anxiety and restlessness. Memory Keepers meets virtually on the third Monday of the month at 10:30 a.m. So 10:30 in the morning on the third Monday. And learning something new is always a great way to expand your social circle. I can't talk this morning. Social circle and engage with others. The Plano Public Library offers programs and classes on a variety of topics for all ages. And these programs and classes do not require a library card, so you don't need a library card to attend. You can participate via Zoom or watch anytime on our YouTube channel, or you can take an in-person class. We've got a number of opportunities, probably at your nearest library, any one of our 5 locations. You can learn about personal finance, starting a small business, or just pick up some needed skills in Microsoft Word or Excel. And you can find out more about how to check out books, audiobooks, and magazines using the Libby app on your tablet, phone, or your computer. And don't forget that the Plano Library app is available for both the Apple operating system and Android. And you can use the app to check out materials on your phone, reserve program or study rooms, connect to your digital library, and access online learning and more. Some of our upcoming classes. Of course, we have the Living Well series. Next one will be Staying Social on July 9th. And the one after that is Preventing Falls on August 13th. And then, of course, we have a financial class, a Saving with a Purpose, later this month, June 20. And Business and Career Job Resource Connection on June 17th and July 1st. We also have just enrichment classes, everything from wind chimes to chess, watercolors for beginners. And I have no idea how to pronounce that. It's the dying class. I'll admit I have no idea. Not even going to embarrass myself more than I already have because I don't know how to pronounce it. Technology with a Cricut. That's a computer, kind of like a CAD computer-controlled cutting machine. And you have computer basics classes throughout June and July. We also offer a little something for older adults with the older adult bags. These are to encourage conversation and engagement between older adults with signs of dementia or Alzheimer's and their caregivers. And these bags fit into 2 major themes. They have a sensory bag or a reminiscence bag. And the sensory bags contain items and activities that help reduce anxiety, improve mobility, stimulate senses, and provide cognitive engagement or encouragement. Topics include calming anxieties, sound, building strength, brain games, and motor skills. And the reminiscence bags are designed to spark conversation and social engagement through themed items and activities. And topics include gardening, baseball, road trips, traveling by train, and life on the farm. And you can place a hold on these older adult bags by searching older adult bag in the library catalog and selecting place hold next to the item. And when you click on the item name, like calming anxieties or a sensory older adult bag, you can see what is included in the bag and including the book titles, because it's a collection of items, books, some resources. And these check out for 3 weeks, and they can be renewed once if they've not been placed on hold and requested by someone else. We have many virtual programs and classes where you can find out more about everything the library has to offer at Plano Library Learns blog. And that posts engaging content and resources about arts and culture, early learning, students, STEAM learning, technology, and reading. And again, visit the blog for articles, recommendations, and reading list, and to learn how you can find more information online with the classes and the book clubs. You can also connect with us on our Facebook or our YouTube or Instagram accounts to receive daily information about what's going on in the library. And you can sign up to receive Sage, a monthly e-newsletter aimed at older adults. This covers services and programs provided by the City of Plano, including the library. And you can also sign up for Check It Out, the library's monthly e-newsletter featuring news and updates about the Plano libraries. We've got a lot of different ways to engage with the library. And there are so many ways to stay social at the library. And you can do that from the comfort of your own home. So we have virtual programs, and we probably should drop that link in the chat because I'm not going to read that out because that's a long link. And it's not up here on the screen. So I will type that out in a moment. And again, just as a reminder, the next Living Well program is about staying connected. And that's a panel discussion on July 9th. And then Preventing Falls on August 13th. Uh-oh, mouse froze again. There we go.
Hi, Trey.
Yes.
Attendees would like to know if are the upcoming classes are for all ages?
We do have a number of upcoming classes for all ages, and that's can be found in our Engage brochure, or you can also check on our calendar on our website. But I'm fixing to drop in the links to our virtual programs list coming up. Just give me a moment to type it out. It's kind of a silly long URL here.
Yeah.
And then I will include the link to the library blog, which also has information about upcoming classes. Oops, and I can't type. Ooh, and then the link to the online classes here. Oh, that's the same link as the above one. Oh, never mind. So the programs and classes includes both the virtual programs and our online classes. That'll include everything. All right, does anybody have any other questions? We really appreciate you joining us this morning.
We had one question that was answered in the chat, but just to clarify, someone had asked, what's the difference between Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia? Parkinson's disease is a different type of brain disease, and it causes symptoms like tremors, muscle stiffness, and impaired balance and coordination. Some people with Parkinson's may also go on to develop dementia as the disease progresses, but they are two separate diseases. Dementia is actually an overall term for a set of diseases and symptoms that include problems with memory, thinking, and problem solving that impair everyday life. And are all the result of different changes within the brain. There are many different causes of all of the different types of dementias. Alzheimer's disease is one type of dementia, and it's actually the most common type. It accounts for 60 to 80% of all dementias. That's a really great question. We get that question a lot, so thank you for that.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Has everybody else had a chance to grab those links to the programs and bookmark those or copy them down? All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us today. On this slide, if you have any other questions or comments that you think after the fact, please feel free to drop Bethany an email. Email's on the screen there. I'm sitting in for Bethany today. Oh, we do have a question in the chat. What do you think about the new approved FDA drug?
I'm assuming you're referring to Leqembi. We are excited about any progression in research and advancements in treating Alzheimer's and dementia. I think it also really highlights the importance of early detection and diagnosis, because it is important that patients are able to receive that drug early in the disease. So it can be an important tool for many patients. It's important, though, that folks talk with their, I know I sound like a broken record, but it is really important that folks talk with their healthcare providers if they have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, or with Alzheimer's, or may suspect that they could have Alzheimer's or dementia, to ensure that they're diagnosed early and can assess all of their options, whether that is treatment like Leqembi, which will slow the progression of the disease, or if it's other medications that can help to treat some of the symptoms that people with Alzheimer's and dementia may experience.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? We've got a couple of minutes, and also thanks virtual clapping for everybody. Thanks Courtney for joining us today. Very informative. I was looking for an icon for clapping and I didn't see it when I was quickly running through from the chat. So we can clap to ourselves. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. And just give a quick moment if someone's in the middle of typing their question. All are very welcome. Thank you all for joining. Let's see, was there no Q&A? All right. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking with all of you today.
All right. Thank you. I'm glad you found that helpful. All right. Well, y'all have a very good rest of y'all's day, and join us soon for any number of excellent programs that we have, or join a book club. We'll see you soon. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I guess we will stop sharing now. I find what happened to my sharing screen. Here we go.
Trey, would you like me to stop the recording?
Oh, I was about to. Yeah, go ahead, please. All right. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good rest of y'all's day as well.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And I think usually after just a few days, Rachel will have this up on the YouTube channel.
Oh, awesome.
They stream it live, but I think she tweaks and does a little bit of magic after the fact, kind of trims the fat a little bit of like the end there where I was just talking.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, thanks, y'all. This was really fun.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Tori. Thank you, chat. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.